freedom, freedom, freedom over fame, freedom over cycle stays the same.
Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives, and I'm your host, Bruce Anthony. Thank you for listening and watching wherever you get your podcasts and video podcasts. Subscribe, share, like, comment, and rate us. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at unsolicited_perspectives. You can find us on Twitter and TikTok at unsolicited_PER. Watch us live. Now, watch us live every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. Our audience continues to grow with each and every episode, and I humbly thank you.
On today's episode, it's the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be talking about English and history falling by the wayside, kidnappings in Mexico, and a continuation of Brother and Sister Day. But first things first. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
What is it? What's going on? How you living?
You know what? I'm doing real well, and I'm gonna tell you why. I owe you an apology.
Okay, look, ladies and gentlemen, my sister about to apologize. Let's stop the presses. But go ahead, do your thing.
First of all, relax. I do apologize. I don't know what this thing is that people like Jonna doesn't apologize. I apologize.
You put your full government out there again.
It's not my full government. You know what? It's not my full. I never say my last name, so it's fine.
But it don't matter. If they look on our Instagrams, they're gonna find us. But this is back-to-back weeks. You done put yours and our brother's government names out there.
I never say our last name, so it's fine.
That's true. All right. Okay. All right. So what you apologizing for?
And anyway, honestly, you can a cursory Google. You can find me. It's we had a slight debate. I don't remember if this was on the show or on the after show. But our brother said he heard it on the podcast, so it must have been on the show because I don't think it was. I said that the best trail mix chips thing was the Chex Mix cheddar.
That's what you said.
And you said absolutely not. It's Munchies. And so I bought a bag of Munchies, and damn it, the Dorito, Sun Chip, Cheeto, pretzel combination, it's heavenly. It is.
Told you.
I gotta be honest with you. It's heavenly. And I was at the grocery store today, and I saw the Chex Mix, and I was like, no. You know why? Because I had a bag of Munchies. And they're all right. So look, I appreciate that. I appreciate you putting me on.
Look, let me tell you something. During the pandemic, Costco would sell. What size bag is that you have? It's like how many ounces? Like
I have an 8-ounce bag.
Okay, so that's a bigger one. That's the bigger one, right? It costs like $5 or something like that.
No, this one costs like $3. It's like the medium size.
No, that's the small size. The medium size is something like 12 ounces.
Okay,
right? It's a 12-ounce bag. At Costco, they got like a 25-ounce bag.
Oh hell!
And during the pandemic, I would go to the one in Northeast, the Costco in Northeast, because they sell the liquor. The liquor. I would stock up on the liquor, and I would get 2 bags of the Munchies. And I was thinking to myself, well, I know the liquor is going to last me at least a month. Typically, non-pandemic time, it would last me 2 months, but pandemic.
You home. You home, and you are slightly depressed.
Well, I wasn't depressed. I was free, but I was bored.
Yeah.
So when I'm bored, I'm going to tend to reach for the bottle. None of them last me for 2 months, right? The bag of Munchies lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the liquor lasted a month.
This 8-ounce bag lasted 2 days.
I'm surprised it lasted 2 days. That normally is a sitting for me. Like on a Saturday night, if I'm not doing nothing, I'm gonna pick a funny TV show or a funny movie, and I'm gonna put look. Now let me tell you something. Here's a little. What do they call it? Cheat code. It's not a cheat code, but it's something else. It's life hack. Damn it! You would think I would have figured that out. Life hack. Here's a life hack. You get the munchies,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get you some Smart Pop popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
Smart Pop, the original.
Okay.
And then you get you some trail mix, and you put that in a big trough.
You mentioned this. You mentioned this. Okay.
And that's a good evening.
That is. Well,
That's
that's one thing. It's not Smart Pop, it's Smart Food. That white cheddar popcorn in the black bag. Now that I'll sit there and eat that whole bag.
you like smart food. I like Smart
I
Pop.
like it. And you get the white cheddar. It becomes a paste on your finger.
Yeah, it does.
Well, actually from oh shoot, what was that show? Lady Hulk?
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Yeah,
That's it.
not
I
Lady Hulk.
started eating it with chopsticks. I did. I started eating it with She was eating Cheetos with chopsticks. I also do that. I mean, it's just smart. You don't get the stuff all over your hands. It's
But
smart.
part of the joy is licking the stuff off your hands.
No, your hands are disgusting. Don't.
No,
It's
you
touching your
wash your
phone.
hands before. First of all, I wash my hands before I eat anything anyway.
Well, yeah, but you're touching your phone. You're touching the remote. You touching stuff. Your hands are gross.
Yeah, you're
I
right
mean,
about that.
I always feel like I can't wash my hands enough. My hands are gross.
I think the grossest thing out of the three things that you said, when you said your phone, your remote, you said something else. But let's just stick with those two things,
Yeah,
right? The grossest thing is the phone, because the
yeah,
phone comes to the bathroom with me.
yeah. Well, I wipe mine down. I do take an antibacterial wipe and occasionally wipe my phone down. You don't wipe you gonna mess around and get pink eye.
I, let me knock on some wood now. Don't give me no
Wipe your
bad
phone
juju.
down after we film this. Go wipe your phone. Matter
Wipe
of
me
fact,
down.
ladies and gentlemen, wipe your phone down. You nasty. You've been putting it on every time you go out somewhere. You sit it down on a table. You just sit your phone anywhere, and then you touch your face, and you wonder why the side of your face breaking out. Your phone is nasty.
Well,
Wash your
hold on.
phone.
Ain't nobody using it. Ain't nobody touching it with their face because don't nobody talk on the phone no more. What
That's
you
true.
talking about?
Nobody
Like,
does. Nobody does.
ain't no.
I do, but literally to call people over the age of 50. Like that's our parents. It's just our parents. Like that's the only time because texting with people over 50 is just it's too much. So
Our mom and dad is pretty good at it though, at texting.
Daddy don't ever reply fast enough. I'm trying to have a sometimes I send Dad something and 2 days later I get an LOL. And it's just like
What you been
it's
What you
like
been
a
doing at home?
neglectful boyfriend. It's just really bad. I'm like, what have you been doing? You didn't see what I sent. It was funny back then. It's not funny now. Bland LOL. I was like, I sent you that 6 weeks ago. No, no, I just call. Forget it.
Yeah, well, if my phone ring, I look at it, and then I look at the name, and I'm like,
Yeah,
do I feel like doing this right now? All right. And the thing that freaked me out is when mom and dad will call in the middle of the afternoon on a work day. I'm like, who died? Who died?
right.
I just did mom
Mom is
because
notorious. She's
mom
notorious for calling you in the middle of the day.
mom does that.
But I also call her in the middle of the day, so I can't even get.
I don't call mom in the middle of the day.
I do.
Don't call me in the middle of the day just to say hi. Wait until normal hours because my heart's gonna stop as soon as I see your name. One time, mom called me at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I know somebody is dead right now.
Yeah.
Just want to say hi. Just want to hear your voice. I'm like, Ma, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Somebody died.
Please.
Somebody died. Oh,
That's true. No, I will call. I will, and I'll sit here, and we'll both be on our computers working on FaceTime. And I just like to listen to her gossip about, coworkers and stuff like that.
mom can do that. Mom
Yeah.
and dad both.
Yes. I love when they talk about work. Dad always got some story. He always got some story. And the best storyteller I've ever heard in my life is our father. He can tell a story, and I mean, you got the exposition, rising action, the climax, denouement, like everything is perfect. He is a perfect bell curve of the story arc that he tells, and you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. There's jokes sprinkled throughout. You get a house laugh, every 2 minutes. Like it's top tier, top tier. That thing about
The
one
printer.
so the printers. Somebody in his office ordered printers and they were for everybody in the office and they were real cheap. Well, they were real cheap because they were huge. And I said, Dad, how big is that printer? Is it the same as our printer at home? He said, yeah, if you put one next to it and two more on top. I said, and when he sent me a picture of a ruler standing up next to that printer on his desk, I almost died. I had the best time talking to our parents on the phone. The best
Oh.
time. Mom, you gonna get some gossip. Dad, you're gonna get a hilarious story about his day. And
Oh, that made my face hurt.
yes. I love talking to our parents. I feel, I always feel bad for people who don't have good relationships with their parents. I mean, it's not like we don't have ups and downs with our parents, but we can give them a call and, they're still here. They're still relatively healthy. So we're really blessed in that regard.
Yeah, we are.
Our parents are hilarious.
They are.
If you wonder where we come from, like why do these two random siblings think that they can have a podcast and it actually works?
It's because of them.
It's because of them.
It's because of them.
It's because of them. And childhood trauma.
Oh God, so much childhood trauma. So much. So much.
It makes the funniest people.
Oh goodness. How the hell did they have 3 kids when they was both 27 years old?
Right. And broke.
And broke. Broke.
I'm talking about BROOOOOOOOKE. Okay.
Now, what was that word that you used? Denouement. What was that word you used?
Oh, denouement.
Yeah, okay. Well, speaking of denouement, you sent me an article.
No. What?
What?
I love that segue, but go ahead.
That's what we do here. We do good transitional segues. That's how we do this over here at Unsolicited.
We typically have very abrupt segues.
No, that's not true. I'm always planning for the segue. Just sometimes you get long-winded and I forget because it's the sibling happy hour. So I get a little happy the longer the show goes because I'm sipping on the scissor. Not technically scissor. I'm not sipping on no scissor.
Yeah,
but
that would be me.
You,
I am.
No, you not. Anyway, so you sent me an article about basically English and history majors, which we both are.
Yes.
And we never used it. But
we're using it now.
What are we?
This podcast, I feel like we're using it.
Oh, okay. All right, I guess so. But those majors are going by the wayside now.
Yeah.
You sent me the article.
Yeah.
So go ahead and break it down for the people out there. What's really going on out there in the world when it comes to English and history majors?
So it's an article. Well, it's actually two different. Was it two different articles? Well, there's one in the New Yorker, the end of the English major, and basically, and I think I sent you one from the New York Times also talking about. I think that was
no. You sent me the one from the New Yorker.
Okay. Well, there was.
I had to join. I had to join to be able to read the whole thing.
Look,
they're gonna stop behind these paywalls. Look, give me a little something.
Nobody's actually getting the physical copy of the newspaper or the news magazine. Nobody's getting that anymore.
Not unless they moving. That's the only time I get some newspapers when I'm moving. The stuff it is for the boxes.
Right. I mean, nobody's doing it. So
and them kids is using the newspaper to wrap their books. Do they still do that?
No, nobody does that. I don't know what year you think this is, but no one does that.
All right, go ahead.
It started from actually an opinion piece that was in the New York Times, and I kind of spilled over, and I was reading and ended up on the New Yorker, and it's basically the death of the humanities in colleges, even liberal arts colleges. I mean, they're they're finding that enrollment, and not even tied to anything, like not even tied to the economy or anything like that. Enrollment is just down for the humanities everywhere. And of course, when you think of the humanities, I think a lot of people immediately think of the English major and think of a bunch of people reading books and sweaters with patches on the elbows, and you're not wrong.
Yeah, I think Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You think a liberal arts college, you think of like Sarah Lawrence or some Vassar or something like that.
Sarah Lawrence, is that a real college?
Yes.
Okay, because Sarah Lawrence was a character on Arrow. She was a Black Canary. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's not who the college is based at all.
okay, you know,
Not who the college is
that's
based on
only
at all.
Sarah Lawrence I know. But go ahead, go
But
ahead.
but you have a lot of kids that they were interviewing. I call them kids, but college are you kids. Y'all are kids in my
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
If I'm old enough to be your mama, you're a kid. So so they were saying, "Oh, I think I like to write, I like to read, but STEM, business,
Yeah.
economic, these are the majors that we're going for. These are the ones we think will make us the money, right?" Which
I
is actually
mean, they ain't wrong.
it's not true. Like, the data doesn't show that English majors make less money. We have more in loans and it takes us longer to pay them off.
No, it said you had less in loans, but it takes you longer to pay them off. See, you ain't even read it.
I did so. We got less in loans, longer to pay them off.
Right.
That's right. Yes. Um, but what people are forgetting is so important about the humanities, and why, even with this story and a lot of colleges mulling over the idea of cutting the humanities
Which
because
is
of lack of
incredible.
enrollment. Yeah, it just boggles my mind. When you study something like business or accounting, because I love to get on accountants. I don't know what. I don't know what about this podcast.
Nah, don't
got
put it
me
on this
in-
podcast. This is you.
I
This is
don't
you
know what
situation.
I don't know what has got me in accountants' asses, but I truly have no problem with accountants. I don't know why I do this.
Our dad is basically an accountant.
Yeah, he's a finance man.
Yeah.
When I was a
Our
kid.
brother is basically an accountant now.
Yeah, yes, he did. Yes, that's true.
What they doing? Accounting for some money. Accountant. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
they're looking at numbers,
Look at that
adding them
number.
up, maybe subtracting, maybe dividing. We don't know.
No, they ain't doing none of that. They just punching numbers in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of work on Excel sheets. Maybe a calculator's
But
involved. Maybe you're beyond that. But you study things like business and accounting, for example, and you're not necessarily reinventing the wheel, right? You're just learning how the wheel works and all of its different iterations. But when you have something like a historian, right? You're not just learning how the wheel works, but when did it start and why, right? Somebody like our younger brother, who's a political scientist, is looking at what the wheel is working for and for whom. You have English majors that are also looking at the why. Like, what you learn in the humanities is how to think creatively. That's one of the
or
things,
critically.
critically and creatively. It's critical thought and creative thought. And one of the things that has really helped me in my career, and one of the things that I've really been known for, is innovative process creation. Like, thinking about, okay, how can we make this better in the most efficient way, or in a way that we haven't thought about before?
Mm-hmm.
And I got that, these unique approaches to problem solving, I got that because the fact that at my graduation from college, Dad said, "I thought you was just doing book reports." Because no.
Book reports in college.
No.
Dad, sir, excuse me. Excuse
Because
me.
the dean got up and explained what the English major was. It is a research and analysis concentration, right?
Mhm.
That's what we're doing is research and analysis. And Dad said, "That's what you've been doing? I thought you was doing book reports. Why? Why would I be Why would you do
Oh,
that?"
wow.
It not only teaches research skills, analytical skills, critical thought, creative thought, but comprehension. A lot of people can read, a lot of people can't comprehend what they read.
Mhm.
So I think I think the humanities have done a bad job of marketing itself. STEM gets out there and markets itself. Hey, learn.
Also, well, STEM is connected to technology
Yeah,
and, like, think
tech.
about it. What we majored in are 2 of the courses most of the time in high school kids hate,
Yeah,
right? Like, nobody liked English and history classes.
I
Well,
love it.
1, I personally didn't like any classes. Ex
Same.
Okay, personally, didn't like any classes, but when we got into English, and I talked about it on my Talking Straight-ish with Bruce Anthony that you can find on our Patreon page, uh,
Plug, 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 plug,
plug,
plug.
plug, 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 and I talked about, when we got to Shakespeare English class, I was through. I was like, "Yeah, you can go." If we reading and doing book reports, all right. I mean, this is boring, but at least I can like fake my way through this. But with Shakespeare, like I could barely speak regular English. You gonna throw Shakespearean English in there with me?
But
Like I,
once you understand it,
I- mm,
it's really funny. Like there's a
mm.
reason why Shakespeare is performed throughout the world, is translated in all these languages, and it's been enduring. One, because he was black, but two,
Wait a minute. What?
that's my own personal opinion. It's my own personal opinion.
Where are you getting that opinion from?
That's kind of been a rumor. It's always been out there.
Well, that's what they say about Abraham Lincoln. He was the first black president.
And listen, I seen pictures of old Abe.
Hey,
He looked like the Kimbe Matumbo to me.
no, he didn't look like no damn Kimbe Matumbo.
Just put it out there.
So they're basically saying that kids just not choosing those as their majors anymore.
No, they're choosing, but I think it's not a reflection of the major itself. I think it's a reflection of the lack of marketing. Like you got to get out there and let
Ah,
them know what exactly you're going to be doing if you major in English, if you major in history, if you major in philosophy,
okay,
where it can go, where you can
let's talk about
do
that now. What can you do with those majors?
research and analytics.
Where's the money in that?
There is in research and analytics, you got
Where's
business analysts, data science, all types of stuff.
But you do that in if you go to business. If you go through the business route and you go through a business major, you get to that point.
Right. But what are you losing? That you're getting the critical thinking and decision making skills,
Well,
but
no, they're
are
not
you
getting the critical
gaining
thinking.
creative thought to be innovative?
Well,
This
not everybody has creative thought, right? There's a reason
what
why
I
people
mean.
are artists and
Yeah, I mean
statisticians, right?
the
Like,
English major is for the people who would be interested in the English major.
well, also that have the mental makeup of somebody that
Yeah,
could process that type of stuff.
yeah,
Like, just because I want to paint, don't mean I can be a painter.
right. I Let me tell you, I can't. I did a paint and sip once. Now, just disregard the fact that
It
alcohol
was
was involved, but it didn't turn out great. It
no.
wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
Look,
I'm
I
not
did a
about to
paint by
do that
numbers.
Basquiat.
Look, I did a paint by numbers, and the shit still didn't turn out great.
Really? Not even a
Yeah.
paint by numbers?
Well, no, okay. The paint by numbers it was going to turn out great, but I didn't realize how many numbers it was going to be and how many different numbers it was going to be. Right. When
How
I
many
got it,
numbers was it?
man, it was like 23 different numbers.
That's not a lot. I
No,
thought you were gonna say like
but
200.
no, but the 23 different numbers weren't in it was like 23 different numbers corresponding with a specific color, but they weren't like 23 numbers in one spot. So I could just focus in on that one spot. It
Yeah.
was like, oh, it's 23 right here, and then 15, I gotta dip it in the glass. I was like, oh, this is real time consuming. I don't want to do this no
Yeah,
more.
painting's not quick.
Well, I didn't need it to be. I wasn't painting the wall. I didn't need it to be quick, right? But I needed it to not be so cumbersome. But anyway, I think really, I think okay, if these colleges want to market the humanities, they need to market how much money and in what jobs that
Yeah.
you can actually be successful. Like people entering in, for one, to me, majoring in economics, like what the hell are you going to do with that? And I got a friend
Right.
who majored in economics. He was like, "Yo, you throwing me under the bus?" I was
I
like,
mean, that's such a broad thing.
right.
Then I think people think English major, okay, so you just studying Shakespeare all the time. No, my concentration was actually in race, class, gender, and sexuality studies.
That
So
sounds about right.
every yes, of course. Everything that I read and the courses that I took were geared in some way towards that. So no, yeah, I don't even think I took a Shakespeare class. I think I completely avoided it.
Well,
Uh,
no, you don't do Shakespeare in college. That's high school.
no, there was a full course on Shakespeare, and it is much
Mm.
more in depth than what you're doing in high school.
You know what
Because
class I
again,
wouldn't have been taking?
we're not doing book reports.
Okay.
So,
Right, Dad. We're not
so
doing book
you
reports.
you take maybe 3 or 4 of his plays, and then you talk about something that occurred in society, and you're pulling from the plays to substantiate your argument, right? So I'm talking about um I don't know, just making some stuff up.
I
Um,
already said that word, so it don't matter.
yeah. When'd you say it?
I
I
said it
mean,
earlier. See, that lets me know that you ain't paying attention to what the hell I'm saying.
no, it lets you know that I cuss so much that I do not realize when cursing is happening around me.
Mm.
Um, but if I'm talking about, 17th century English aristocracy, and then I use 3 of his plays to talk about the aristocracy of that time. But that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the works and applying. You're not doing that in high school. You're writing a book report. But the professor doesn't want you to recite the book that they spent their whole life studying back to them. They already know what the book is about. They want to know, what do you think about it, and how does it apply to some larger ideal in society or culture, or I've always wanted to say this word in conversation, and now I get to the zeitgeist. So it's like
And isn't that a food
it's no, I think
menu or
it's
something?
the zucchini.
No, Zygos is isn't it not like a
It's
food?
not a light ghost, which sounds like a German ghost.
Yeah, it was Casper's cousin on his
Yeah,
on the other side.
yeah. And we don't talk about, because he was into some things in the early 19th century.
Whew. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, I would do a comment about history
Hmm.
and being a history major, but that was over 20 years ago, and I
Hmm.
honestly don't remember a whole lot.
Hmm.
But I know there were some classes that I really liked and some classes that I didn't. And if I was going to change my focus, because for some strange I know what it was. It was my ego.
Hmm.
My focus in history was Eastern European history. Why? Because that was the most challenging. Actually, Russian history would have been the most challenging, just plain straight up. But Eastern European history is in,
Hmm.
that's included, right?
Yes.
So if I could do it all over again, my favorite course was American history from Reconstruction through the Civil Rights Movement.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this is dope. I even liked the class before that, where it did the colonies to Reconstruction.
Hmm.
But that was like that was like, oh, okay, this is my niche.
Yeah.
This is what I really,
Yeah,
really
and it's
feeling.
funny because I liked stuff around that time. A lot of I took a great class about women's writing in the antebellum South, and ended up reading a memoir of a white woman who owned slaves, uh, Dantignac, who is actually, we have a cousin, Eleanor Dantignac, rest in peace, who is also from Georgia and likely was owned by that family. And so I ended up doing an interview with Eleanor and playing it for my professor. who, love me, of course, because it's like, oh my God, we 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 actually have like a real tangible tie-in to this book
Right.
that we're reading. Yeah. Um, but I don't know. It's just like I said, I think you can't have everybody can't be a scientist. Everybody can't be a business owner. Everybody can't be a goddamn accountant. You need some creative people somewhere, and you need to nurture that in people, and to lose out on the humanities just because of poor marketing, I think is just terrible. And I'm sorry, but I've made a great career from my degree, and I've never had any employer say English. I don't really know what we can do with that. No, I've never had that happen to me. So, uh, go to school. Like, go to school. I don't know. Do better, colleges. Do better. Do better reaching out to these kids and letting them know what these majors are really about and what they can really do to
The
contribute.
the greatest thing that ever happened to me to my major, and it was actually a major insult, and I realized I could see the person for who they were, and I was applying for a job,
Mhm.
and they gave them my resume, and they were like, "Oh, Bruce, I didn't know you had a history degree. I didn't know you were smart." Wait, what?
Yeah. Absolutely. Just mm-mm. No, you didn't. No, you did not. What does that even mean?
Exactly. All right, sis. So you sent the other article that you sent me that you wanted to talk about
Mhm.
is that kidnapping in Mexico.
Mhm.
I have a slightly different take on all of that, but you sent me the article had a different spin
Yeah.
on it, and I was like, "Oh, this is an interesting take," and I never thought about it in this way. I still there's still my side of it that I'll get to later,
Mhm.
but go ahead and break down for the folks what was basically the standpoint that you were coming from as represented in this article.
Yeah. So, as I'm sure most of America knows right now, 4 Americans were traveling into Mexico. One was going there for a tummy tuck. And shortly after when they were driving through a border town, Matamoros, Mexico, and in a minivan when a gunman began open fire on them. One person was killed. A bystander, a Mexican bystander, was also killed. Another person was shot in the leg.
Uh-uh. Out of the 4 people that were taken, 2 were killed, 1 was shot in the leg. A
So 3
bystander
were
was hit.
killed?
No, yeah, bystander was a bystander? Yes, a
Yeah.
bystander was hit,
Mhm.
and then 1 person was untouched. But 2 of those 4 people that traveled together were killed, and one got a flesh wound.
I believe it was 3 men and a woman,
Mhm.
and the woman was going down there for a tummy tuck. The leading theory is that they were mistaken for Haitian smugglers.
Well,
Um, but what this article in the New York Times, kidnapping in Mexico draws attention to medical tourism industry, and it was really interesting because I know a lot of people who, this is Atlanta. Atlanta is sort of like a black LA in terms of the amount of plastic surgery you have here.
Mhm.
There's a lot of ass shots, a lot of breast augmentation, and people are going to other countries to have these things done. I mean, these are elective procedures; they're not covered by insurance.
Them
So
BBLs and South.
BBLs, the
Yeah.
tummy tucks. Some of y'all not going to reputable people, and some of y'all look like all your body went below your waist, and it don't. There's a funny song on TikTok. These BBLs killing y'all, and the thighs don't match, and that is accurate. Some of y'all need to look up. the reviews on the people y'all going to. But they estimated about 1.2 million Americans travel every year to Mexico. Mexico being the most commonplace destination people go to for all kinds of procedures, bringing in about 5 billion into Mexico pre-pandemic. People are going down there for cheaper prescription, medicine, people going out for cancer treatments, dental, people getting their grills redone.
Yeah, that was what was surprising to me. Like, I knew people were going down there for plastic surgery. I know a couple of people that went down there for plastic surgery, but I heard about the meds, like
Mhm.
the meds are cheaper,
Meds are
but
cheaper.
like I didn't realize it was that prevalent.
Yes.
The cancer treatments and the dental work. Like,
Dental work.
come on now, y'all. Like,
No, it's
people
real.
can't
Like,
afford no. I mean, like, people can't afford dental work in America. Like, how are
you can, but it's cheaper. They have lower overhead costs down there. It's cheaper. Sometimes you're doing it to get around some red tape or restrictions or something like that. It's just easier to pick up, fly down, drive down to Mexico, have what you want to have done. The problem is it is largely unregulated.
yeah.
It is unregulated. They said it was the triple U, untracked, untraced, unregulated. It is incredibly dangerous to do this because a lot of times you're not having any follow up with you going down there, you're having a procedure, you shouldn't be flying because it opens you up to a risk of blood clots. And these BBLs is killing y'all. Y'all need to listen. Y'all
W-
thighs don't match.
Look, I saw a girl in the gym the other day, and it was clear that she had a BBL because
Mhm.
it was just, I'm a fitness professional. So I can look at the body and be like, I know what's real and what's not, except for breasts.
Right.
Most of the time, these breast implants, they've been perfecting it over the last 50 years, and they have literally perfected it. But these BBLs are new. And sometimes the BBLs look fantastic. I've
Yeah.
seen a couple of, but like when your booty cheeks stick out so far, but your quad and hamstring is so small.
Your thighs need to match the ass that you are getting. You can't be standing on two beanstalks with a big old ass.
And the thing that I saw in the gym the other day, it was her ass was lopsided. Like,
Mhm.
one was higher than the other, and I was like, "Oh, baby." It stopped me dead in my tracks while working out in the gym, and if anybody was looking at me, they may have thought I was looking at her ass, and I was, but
Yeah,
not in the manner of which they
not in
thought
that
I was
way.
doing.
Was
I
looking
was
as
like
a medical professional.
I was like, "Oh, sweetheart." That's what I said in my head. "Oh, sweetheart." Like, "You pay
No.
for that? No, don't pay. Then get your money
And it's
back.
like you gotta stick by it at that point
You ain't
because
got no choice."
the revision surgery or whatever you need to fix it is gonna be another bill. So now you got no, this is exactly how I wanted it to look. I wanted it to look like two hams on a stick. This is how I envisioned this. This is the body I always wanted for
No, I
myself.
had the 2 hams on the stick.
Okay.
On the stick. I don't even know how you can hold a ham up on the stick.
You can't. And that's why these BBLs are killing. Them
Oh my
hams cannot be supported on two chopsticks.
Yeah, so that article opened up, and I know, look, medical costs in this country and
Ridiculous. They're
our
ridiculous.
our healthcare system is just good God. We are one of the well, I would say we're one of the wealthiest countries, but that's not really true because we are in so much debt.
Mhm.
It's we so much debt, but we're supposed to be one of the richest countries in the world.
Right.
And 2 things 3 things should never be the case in this country. You should never have to worry about getting sick and not being able to take care of yourself. You
Mhm.
should never have to worry about going hungry, and
Mhm.
you should never have to worry about not having a roof over your head.
Right.
We have abundance of all 3 of those things.
Mhm.
Don't get me started. No, I'm not gonna do it. I was about to go on a tangent
Nope.
about some.
Well,
No,
I see the gears
I was about to go
turning.
on. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it.
You had sat up a little bit because you had been kind of lounging in your seat, and then all of a sudden you readjusting, you're sitting up a little straighter.
Well, you know why I'm lounging, right? Because I got rid of the chair.
Okay.
And 'cause I had too many did you notice I'm not talking so much with my hands anymore because my
Okay.
hands are by my side. So I got rid of the
Right.
chair, and I'm on this uncomfortable ass seat, and my right butt cheek is falling asleep. So
Mhm.
I'm slunched down and putting a lot of pressure on my lower back, but that's neither here nor there. If y'all wanna know the tangent that I was about to go on, Imma go on it
Yeah.
on the After Hours episode. You can catch
Yeah.
that on patreon.com/unsolicited perspectives.
Booyah.
Um, yeah,
Plug,
no,
plug,
so
plug, plug, plug.
the healthcare system in this country is so horrible. The dental care system in this country is so horrible. Like, okay, so if you're poor in this country, you can get on Medicaid, right? Older
Mhm.
people can get Medicare.
Mhm.
You, if you're poor in this country and you're on Medicaid, you can get a dental plan for your children.
Mhm.
There is a dental plan included in the Medicaid for your children, but not for you. So that's the reason why you got so many jackjaw people out here in this world because they ain't go see a dentist regularly. And
The problem occurs when you're working class. You you make too much for Medicaid,
Mhm.
but your job doesn't offer insurance.
Mm.
So you have to purchase insurance out of pocket. And it's terrible insurance and it's expensive as hell.
Yeah, I mean, we're not attacking Obamacare right now, are we?
He did what he could do.
Okay, we gotta be
But let
careful.
me tell you something. These insurance companies
Yeah.
and their lobbyists
Mhm.
are a mess. Now, I did read some good news. United Healthcare has decided to make insulin and something else free.
Okay.
Um, but it should that's what
Right,
the hell the hell.
right. I don't even know how you can fight against making insulin cheaper because it costs so little to actually make. Like, even if you just make it cheaper, you're still gonna make a profit, but that's
Mhm.
capitalism.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was at the pharmacy today. I picked up 5 prescriptions. The lady in front of me was picking up insulin and they were like, "Do you know your copay is I think it was like $270 or something like that."
What's that for the year?
No, for that prescription for that insulin that she was picking up.
Mm,
And that's generous. I picked up 5 prescriptions, I paid 44¢. And
mm,
that's just because my company offers a great insurance plan. And this woman was trying to figure out how she was gonna get her insulin.
mm.
I mean, it's trash.
Yeah.
It's trash. This country's trash. I said this company, and you know what? I'm not wrong. I misspoke, but guess what? I was actually right. This company,
Yeah, this country is a company,
The United States of America, IN,
incorporated. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
is trash when it comes to taking care of its citizens.
That's
Don't
what
get me.
capitalism is.
Yeah,
That's the reason why I leaned up.
you got straight. Your shoulders went back. I was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh." I thought you was flexing on me. I was like, wait. I'm
No,
not.
we had a difference. We had a distance. Flexing. I'm not gonna flex on my sister. I love my
Wait a
sister.
minute. Wait a
S-
damn minute.
Speaking of love for my
Mhm,
siblings,
mhm,
last week we talked about, and yeah, I'm gonna segue because what I was gonna talk about in that kidnapping, I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna give. I had let's move on.
alright,
Let's move on. Let's
alright.
just move on.
I
But
feel like
as
there's something there.
well, maybe I'll bring it up in the after hours. It
Okay.
needs to be uncensored. Let's put it this way. It needs to be
Okay,
uncensored. Yeah,
okay,
that needs to be
gotcha.
uncensored. Um, but last week we talked about Brother and Sister Day.
Yes.
And this week, from that point to this to the last week, I've been fell down a little bit of a rabbit hole thinking about the movies that we used to watch.
Mhm.
And I know I've been blowing up you and our brother
Yeah.
on the group chat talking about one particular movie
Yes.
called Class Act. Now, Class Act stars Kid and Play,
Yes.
and Kid and Play did, as far as I know, 4 movies. House Party 1, 2, and 3, and Class Act. And in my eyes, House Party 1 had always been the best kid and play movie
Mm-mm.
in my eyes, because it
Yeah.
had Robin Harris, right? So it had always been the best kid and play movie. But as I'm watching
Who is
just
my favorite
scenes,
comedian, by the way?
Robin Harris,
Yes.
okay, yeah, well, because baby kids.
No, it was actually it was actually this joke he did on his stand-up. Oh, this this thick woman walked in late and she was wearing like a silver lame dress. Okay, it's very shiny silver dress. And he said, "What you doing coming in here late looking like a baked potato?" And I almost passed out. I laughed so hard. And then there was this joke about how he only wanted to date an ugly woman because you could tell her anything. And he said, "Bye, baby, I'm going to the moon." She was like, "You be careful."
He might have a point. He might have a point. Maybe I might find me an ugly woman.
Listen, Robert, he might have had a point.
He might have had a point. But Class Act,
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching scenes from YouTube, and this weekend I'm going to actually watch the full movie because I was like, "Yo, Class Act is freaking hilarious." It was
It is
hilarious in
truly
1994, and it's still
It
hilarious now.
truly, truly hilarious.
And it just got me thinking about all those movies that we used to watch. I thought it was the same movies over and over again. And in essence, it was, but it wasn't the same 3 movies that I thought we only watched over and over and over again.
No, we brought other stuff in there.
What other stuff?
Class Act. That was it.
That was Hold on. It was Above the Rim, CB4, Fear the Black Cat,
Yeah.
Class Act, Baby's Kids.
Baby's Kids we did watch a lot, yes. Shout
What
out to
else?
Faison Love and a great interpretation of Robin Harris.
Interpretation or impression?
Interpretation. I say interpretation.
Okay, well, you the English major, so you would
Yeah.
know. You're the linguist.
Yeah.
The
I
linguist,
don't
so
think he
you
was
would.
trying to be Robin. I think he was interpreting Robin
Okay.
through his performance. Yeah.
What other movies did we watch though?
Man, that was it.
No, wait,
I don't know what you digging for. We watched the
no.
same movies over and over again. That was it.
No, I thought we watched more than that.
No, we might have watched The Golden Child a couple times.
We definitely watched The Golden Child more than a couple of times.
Yes,
Uh,
because I could literally quote that movie from start to finish.
and Beverly Hills Cop 3, we watched that numerous times.
Yes, which I love all the Beverly Hills Cops, obviously.
Oh,
But
yes.
Beverly Hills Cop 3 has a special place in my heart.
People always complain that Beverly Hills Cop 3 is the worst of the 3,
No,
and I'm like, "No, you're not really watching it." Eddie
no.
is hilarious.
Eddie, it's and on stuff that clearly wasn't scripted, like the little kid smacking at the phone.
The little kid scene. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
Type in Beverly Hills Cop 3 and the little kid scene.
yeah,
That little kid scene is hilarious because that wasn't in the script.
absolutely not. And
And they just kept rolling.
they kept rolling, and the dad said, "I'm sorry, you sorry." That's never. I'm sorry. Eddie Murphy at Wonder World, top tier.
He ran up those stairs.
Yes. If you didn't think that was top tier, you were not watching it. Watch
Well,
it again.
also, me, me and my brother, you, me and our brother, excuse me, you, me and our brother like to find the small things that really make something funny, where
Yeah.
it will slip past most people. Most people would be like, I don't get it. Like, how do you not get it? How
Yeah.
funny that is.
Yeah. Axel, I'm the new DDO JSIOC.
The Ginger Jojo, see? What's that? Like, I'm sorry.
How do you not? I mean, first of all, what y'all also have to understand is half of the things that we say are quotes from movies and television.
Oh, we have some people out there that absolutely get it because they reach out to me and they're like, I remember that. That was funny. And I'm like,
Yeah.
see, that's the reason why you're a fan of the show, because you get
You
My
get
humor.
it. You
Yeah.
get it. You get us.
Yes.
We were raised by television, and we just loved movies and television, and it all just became a part of the lexicon between the three of us. We speak in movie quotes, and we have since we were
Yeah.
children.
And it all stems back from me creating Brother and Sister Day.
Brother and Sister Day. We also got some good feedback about my interpretation of Brother and Sister Day.
Yeah, no, that was a good interpretation. I'm actually interviewing somebody, and that episode will probably be up Tuesday.
Mm,
A clinical psychiatrist that deals with trauma and depression and
mhm.
things like that. Which I think is fitting considering the fact that you broke it down to me. It's like, yeah, your ass was depressed and just needed to
Do something comfortable and
yeah.
calming, and yeah.
And I was like, I was? I guess I didn't know it. But I didn't know a lot of things back then. I didn't know how much my anxiety and depression was.
Your panic attack in high school, that was the first time I heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
That
I didn't know. Adam said he remembered. I did not remember that.
I was in the hospital. Like, mom, I remember but we didn't know it was a panic attack then,
Oh,
right? It at that time, it was just like I had extreme chest pain. I couldn't stand up straight. I was woozy and dizzy, and I felt like I
mhm.
was gonna faint.
Yeah.
And then school nurse was like, we need to call you an ambulance. I was like, am I having a heart attack at 16? I didn't know what it was.
That's exactly how it feels, though.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how it feels.
That's exactly how it feels.
That's
And
how
I
it
was like,
feels.
I don't know what this is. And I can't remember that day. I don't know what triggered it. And it probably wasn't any one instance. It was probably a buildup
Yeah.
of a multitude of things. I probably could have been chilling that day and
Yeah.
something just triggered it. But yeah, they called the ambulance and they rushed me out. And I was so self-conscious about being rushed out in the ambulance because they put me on the stretcher and they had the little oxygen mask because I'm having
Mhm.
trouble breathing. And they're wheeling me out through the we went to the
Yes.
same high school, through the
Yeah.
main entrance. And
Yeah.
it's like people are getting out of class and like, oh, is that Bruce? What happened to Bruce? And all
Right.
I could think was, as I'm trying to breathe, damn it. They're gonna be talking about my ass. I'm gonna have to come up with a story for this. And then I go to the hospital and they run all these tests and they're like, well, there's nothing physically wrong with them.
Mhm.
But at that time, nobody said it then, oh, this is a
Yeah.
panic attack.
Yeah.
I know now in retrospect, because that's not the only time that's happened, right?
Yeah.
Like as I got older, I started you know what it was? Sopranos.
Ah.
Right, I do the Tony Soprano where, I haven't he passed out. I
Yeah.
don't pass out, and
Mhm.
it's rare when it happens. I don't know the number, but it's rare when it happens, but it does drop me to my knees and I have to lay out.
Yeah.
There are times where I get dizzy and lightheaded, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to sit down," and then you kinda gotta tuck your head almost between your legs to try and
Mhm.
catch your breath. And they're just straight up panic attacks. And I literally have no control over it.
I tell you who told me I was having one, our brother.
Mm,
I was we was when we were working together at the same company, and it was a normal day. I got to work. I sat down at my desk. I started, turning my computer on and everything, and I was like, I just felt winded. I said, let
mhm,
me go get me some, go get some water or something, make a cup of coffee. So I went, got some water, got back to my desk, still trying to go about my day. And as it just kept getting worse and worse, I was like, I feel like I can't breathe.
mhm,
I don't know what is going on. My hands are tingling, my face is tingling. I'm like, what is going on? So I get up and I go and I walk to our brother's desk. And by the time I get to his desk, full hyperventilating.
mm,
And so he takes me into the stairwell and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, you're having a panic attack. Just sit down, put your head between your legs and breathe. And I was like, what? I was just chilling today. But there was lead up to it. There was
mhm,
lead up. I started getting headaches and I was feeling there was lead up to it. And then boom, then it happened. It was just because of stress. But that day I was just chilling. And so that's how I found out I had them. He
yeah.
told me because he had been having them.
Look, and also shout out to our brother because he is calmest when somebody else is going through something.
Yes.
Now he ain't calm no other time. It was a shout out and a shot. It was a shout out and a shot at the same time. And I know you listening,
In a
bro.
crisis,
Oh, he is solid.
so much better than the two of us.
Oh,
We are not good in a crisis. No, you're the worst in a crisis.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh, no,
How am I the worst?
You make terrible decisions. You completely break down.
Wait, we're talking about what evidence do you have of this? Number one, I feel
When
like
the
you
dog
just
started having seizures and you call the police. Bruce, you're terrible at a crisis. Adam was the one that was like, hey, everybody just relax.
hold on, time out.
Calm down.
Time out. No, hold on. Y'all was both all right, ladies and gentlemen.
I am not good in a crisis. I will readily admit that.
All right, we're gonna end the show on this. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna tell the story of the time that our dog was having a seizure, right? Okay. I was at the house. I don't know why I was at the house.
I don't either.
I don't know why I'm always at the house for some reason. For some reason, y'all say I'm not there all the time, but for some reason, I'm always there. Anyway, I'm at the house, and y'all come running up from downstairs. Bruce, you freaking all the way out.
Yes.
Bruce, Darcy's having a seizure.
I'm the one that discovered her. So I'm just like, oh, I don't want to see this. I didn't want to see her. I'm like, no.
It was
someone else deal with this. I am terrible. I think I heard a noise in my house once and I went to grab my phone and I dropped it. And I said, you're great in a crisis, Jonna. I am terrible in a crisis. I will readily admit that.
So you run upstairs and you're like, Bruce, Darcy's having a seizure. So I run downstairs. Sure enough, she's having a seizure. And I don't know what to do. I don't know none of us know what to do. No. I think I'm 25, you're 21. Our brother is 20 or 19, right? Yes. So like none of us know what to do. So I called 911.
Even I in that moment was like, why? What are they going to tell you to do?
Look, 911 is an emergency. It's an emergency. And they told me what to do. They gave me the information that I needed. So it was actually a good idea. Because I didn't know what to do. And I called 911 and they calmly told me, this is the number that you need to call for this. So obviously I'm not the only one that had ever done that.
But why did neither of us call mom or dad?
I mean, what is mom and dad going to do? I don't know where they were.
They were at work. This was the middle of the day. We were in college. We were home.
I wasn't in college.
Adam and I were in college.
What the hell was I doing there then?
I don't know what you were doing there.
Then it wasn't a work day.
It
had to be.
They weren't home.
But they could have just not been home. I don't think it was a work day.
I truly don't remember, and there's only one person who would.
And he's determined to never come on this show.
Never. For all of you who are asking, stop asking, because I get that question all the time. Is it going to be all the siblings going to be? No,
he don't want to be on the show.
Way too important
in his mind
to be associated with two a-holes like us. So no. he actually, has things to lose.
I mean, we all got things to lose. Come on now. We all got things to lose.
He actually has like a business reputation where
well, whatever.
Yeah, neither one of us do. So he's not going to be on the show, y'all. Would it be amazing? Yeah, but you're never going to.
It might be amazing. The timing for all three of us could be bad, but it would be amazing if we were all in the same room and had phenomenal video and audio equipment.
I don't think we don't need it. You just got to be able to hear us.
All they're going to hear is that's all they're going to hear.
But the truth is, like, there is a trifecta.
Yes, there is.
With the three of us, and that is a missing part of that.
There is a missing element to this show, but he won't come on, and that is what it is. But on that note, sis.
Anyway, Class Act is the best. I believe you are correct. That is the 4 films that they did together. Class Act is the best one. Please watch it this weekend if you get a chance.
Watch Class Act, and you're gonna enjoy it.
Movie.
Huh?
Is it on Tubi?
I don't think it is on Tubi.
What is it on?
I don't
You know
know.
what?
You could find Class Act. It's probably on Netflix. You can find Class Act. It's on somewhere.
We need to look it up. But
Let
anyway,
everybody else look it up.
everybody, you know what? Do your own labor.
Yeah, do your own labor.
Research
We're telling you
it.
what it is. Look it up. You got all types of streaming services. It's on one of them streaming services. Trust me. It's
Yes.
probably on Tubi because
Because
everything is on Tubi.
of course.
Yeah.
You can get it on Apple TV for $2.99. Vudu costs $2.99. YouTube, you can get on to YouTube $2.99. It's $2.99 everywhere. Amazon Prime. Pay the $2.99. You won't waste it.
Or you can be like me and steal it.
Or you could steal it. That's also a possibility. But you know, let the two Christophers get their residuals.
That's right.
You know?
On that note, Jay, I forgot what your sign off was now that it's Women's Month.
It's just Happy Women's Month, Women's History Month, Women's Month.
I thought it was Women's International Month.
No, it was International Women's Day. Yesterday?
Yes, it was yesterday.
Yeah. But the month is, I think it's changed to Women's Month. I think it was initially Women's History Month, but now it's just Women's Month. It's just a month for women.
Just respect your women out there.
Yeah. Damn.
And on that note, I'm a holla.
Thank you for listening to Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and donate. Donations help us keep giving you this free content each and every week. Until next time, Audi 5000. Peace.